Hey there, old school gamers. Welcome back to Grumpy Old GMs, where we work to get you up to speed to be the greatest GM that you can be, because you already are deep inside. We just got to get that inner GM out. So yesterday, I talked about how to set up a game on 5 minutes notice. Basically, zero prep. Whether you're a professional GM doing it for money, or whether your friends just come over and you're just spontaneously going to game, you don't seem to have anything ready. I am going to expand on this a lot. The next expansion on that, like I promised yesterday, is I'm going to review and overview Owlbear Rodeo, because Owlbear Rodeo is a big part of my secret to getting games up in 5 minutes. Now, of course, if you're going to play on an actual real tabletop, you don't necessarily need a VTT. But I'm also going to talk about, how to get your creative juices flowing instantly. Like if your creative juices are not flowing at all, and you need to get them going because people expect you to just DM right there, or maybe they're paying you to DM just right there, whether you're ready or not. You've got to be able to get your creative juices just flowing instantly. Today, though, I'm going to make an announcement here for people who play games with us at grumpyoldgms.com through Discord and Owlbear Rodeo and StartPlaying.games and Patreon, and people that are just part of our community. Today, we are adding what I'm calling the Craftsmeister and Loremeisters system. So there's been not everybody, and this is totally optional. Okay, completely optional. You do not have to do it. We're not forcing anybody to do it. But lots of people have been into the idea of crafting and stuff, and they've wanted more detail on crafting, and not just sort of like the regular D&D loosey-goosey crafting that was sort of suggested in each edition. Just loose guidelines in 1st edition, 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 4th edition, 5th edition, blah, blah, blah. So there's a crafting and a lore system that I'm going to kind of overview today. And now Pathfinder, for any Pathfinder games, Pathfinder just overhauled their crafting system. And they've got their own detailed crafting system. But I'm talking about, like, for example, 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons and Old School Essentials, characters like that. So if you've got a character in one of our games right now, you can take one of these crafting classes. There are 32 crafting and lore mastery classes here. It'd be a pretty long video if I went into a lot of detail, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. Just jump into Discord and ask, but just real quick, in sort of alphabetical order. We've got the Alchemists Guild. Now, this system was made to not toe stomp people who are already supposed to be awesome at stuff. For example, bards are already supposed to know a little bit of everything. They still do. Okay, artificers are already supposed to be awesome at making magic items and enchanting things. They still are. This is not a toe stompy thing. And of course, Alchemist is a subclass of Artificer. Alchemist is also a toolkit proficiency you can pick up in 5th edition. And of course, if you know about the principalities of Gallantry, there are Gallantrian Alchemists. So it's definitely going to not be toe stompy. Also, there's a Monster Hunter thing we're going to get to, not to replace the Monster Hunter Ranger from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, or the Monster Hunter Fighter from Unearthed Arcana that just didn't make it into a hardback book, because I think they changed it to Ranger, but I use both. And not to toe stomp the Beastmaster Ranger when we get to the Animal Trainer. So all those character classes still have the things that make them awesome, and they can stack this stuff on top of it. So we got the Alchemists Guild. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then there's the Anthropologists Guild. So what are the anthropologists doing? Well, this party member knows the customs, social mores, legends, and cultures of many different societies. From orcs to gnolls to gnomes to the various human societies, this party member can correctly serve tea ceremony to a samurai, give proper tribute to an orc king, or know what is expected in a Neogi coming-of-age ceremony. So the Anthropologist Society, they just know how cultures and societies are and can help the party deal with that. Then the Astronavigators Guild. Now this one, may not exist everywhere. Not every society knows about or has spell jamming, but that's kind of what astronavigation is about. The Barristers Guild. Have you ever wanted a lawyer in the party? Now, in a new society where the character has never been before, they may need time to get up to speed on local laws, but yeah, it'd be like being a lawyer. It isn't being a lawyer, it's a barrister. The Boyers and Fletchers Guild make bows and arrows. The Brewers and Winemakers Guild, that's just what it sounds like. The Butchers Guild, got meat. The Cartographers and Navigators Guild. Now, not the Astronavigators Guild, that's specifically for Spelljammer. The Cartographer and Navigators Guild would actually be making maps like we would see of the Earth in real life or something, only they'd end up being maps of Mystara or Greyhawk or Krynn or Exandria. The Chefs and Bakers Guild, the Clockwork and Steampunk Tinkers Guild. This is good for gnomes. This might be a little restricted depending on the setting and how advanced they are. The Farmers and Gardeners Guild, the Fishermen's Guild, and it's more than just catching fish for food. The fishermen also know about crafting knowledge from the sea, things like whale bones, magical coral, the locks of a mermaid's hair, special pearls, and magical fish species. The Forgers and Smiths and Metalworkers Guild. Now, not forgery, not that kind of forging. That would be a scribe. But Forging, Smithing, and Metalworking Guild. The Gunsmiths Guild. Once again, not every setting has firearms. Not every world is that advanced, and some worlds have heavy restrictions on firearms, so definitely check with GMDM. The Heraldrist Society. These party members are like Geoffrey Chaucer in the movie A Knight's Tale. They know who is who in a society and keep track of politics, intrigue, and lineages. Knowing one can be essential in navigating the halls of power. The Herbalists Guild, just what it sounds like. The Historians Guild, just what it sounds like. The Jewelers Guild, just what it sounds like. The Linguists and Polyglots Guild, learn more languages fast. The Miners Guild, just what it sounds like. The Monster Hunters Guild, learn monster lore. The Necromongers Guild. So Necromongers, not to be confused with Necromancers, although there's no reason you can't be both. The Necromonger knows what parts of formerly undead creatures can be used as crafting materials. They also know many things about death cults and their beliefs. The Occult and Religion Specialist, that's just what it sounds like. The Planar Cartographer, not like the regular cartographer making maps of individual worlds, but a big picture person making maps of the multiverse for planescape navigation. The Poisoners Society, just what it sounds like. The Ranchers and Animal Handlers Guild, just what it sounds like. The Researcher. Gandalf could have used one of these when he was in the Library of Gondor trying to read about the One Ring. Researchers can dig through mountains of information fast. The Scribes Guild, write everything from land deeds to wedding certificates to last will and testaments to magic scrolls. The Shipwrights Guild, just what it sounds like. The Stoneworkers and Masons Guild, just what it sounds like. The Tailors and Seamstresses Guild. I mean, who do you take that Displacer Beast hide to get it turned into a cloak of displacement? The Tanners and Furriers Guild, who makes the rogue's leather armor. The Woodworkers and Carpenters Guild. I mean, who does craft the wooden shaft of your Spear +3? So there are 32 of these, and if some of them just don't work out, we might take them away. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we might be adding more is more likely. So let's see here. This video is already 8.5 minutes long. So down below, I'm going to put a link to the shared Google Sheet doc that has these crafting classes. There's going to be auction houses. Player characters are going to be able to harvest crafting materials and sell them to other player characters who play on different days and nights. Okay, so this is a unifying thing that is going to help. Many of you who play in our games are aware that it is one shared universe. Now, so there's different worlds. We got some people investigating Dark Sun, and we've got some people in Greyhawk on Saturday and stuff, but it's one shared universe, and people are going to be able to harvest crafting materials, sell them to somebody else. We'll have auction houses and stuff like that. That is all to come. So in the meantime, down below, you can get coaching through our Patreon program as a casual or pro GM. We've got our Discord, and we've got some social media down there as well. So, hey, come by, say hi, check out a game. Watching the games is always free, or just go for it. I mean, join one of our groups here. We got some interesting parties going. So in the meantime, I will see you around the gaming table.